Hello, and welcome to yet another video talking about Rhino. This time around, we're going to talk about sections and why do architects tend to create 3D models in Rhino and then move into Revit to actually create 2D documentation in either Revit or ArchiCAD, right, in BIM software. And that has something to do with automated drawing creation. So basically automated drawings that are created live from your 3D model. That's what BIM software is really good at and what Rhino is a little bit shaky on. And I was thinking there's no real reason as to why Rhino can't have dynamic plans or sections, for instance. And I came to find this plugin that I want to share with you today. So this is what we're going to be doing. Alrighty, so let's begin. So I will be showing it on this 3D model, the whole process on this 3D model. And those of you who saw my previous video, the introduction to T5 render, will find this familiar because it's the same model. If you want to follow along with the exact same house, then you can by supporting the channel on Patreon, link in the video description. And those of you who support get access to the basically like a large Excel spreadsheet with download links for every single 3D model, every single Grasshopper script that I've done for this channel as a little bit of a thank you for, for your support. Said that you don't need this 3D model to follow along, so yeah, that's just a bonus, either way. So this is the 3D model, nothing fancy. I do enjoy the design of the house, that's why I'm using it. So I was mentioning sections, right? And sections not being dynamic. And what I mean by that is if I wanted to create a section of this building right here, I would create a clipping plane, right? And I would just, let's just draw it there. Let's just rotate it, move it. Let's say something like this, right? Or I could say, let's do something fancy. Let's do, no, for this building, we shouldn't do an angled section. Let's just move in the clipping plane even further on, like that. Go to a corresponding view, or you can just go to C-planes, set C-plane by 3 points, just click, 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 bottom left, bottom right, top left. Right, so you set up 3 points. Then it kind of creates a plane here, which you can't see in the Arctic view, but in the shaded view you will. So now the whole world is shifted to this. And if you type in plan, it's going to show you the plan view of that particular clipping plane, or not clipping, the C-plane, right? So now I can select all of this, make 2D, view, sure, from input object properties from it. It doesn't matter. This is just for me to show you how it's not dynamic. So I'm just gonna say section 1. Hit OK. It does its thing, calculates, and now in the top view I can see my little section here. It's pretty nice, but that's not good enough, because now if I were to go back in here and I were to say, well, actually this roof right here should be thicker, right? Like that. This doesn't update naturally, right? So I would need to do make 2D again, and I would need to rehatch everything and so on. So imagine that I have a bunch of hatches already done for this, hatching done, and all of the line weights are fixed and everything is crisp and nice, and then oh, the design changed. Well, then I'm screwed because I need to do this all over again. Let's get rid of all of this. Or actually, let's undo this a bunch of times. Yeah, that's good enough. Instead, we will use a plugin. And that plugin is actually very easy to download. And that plugin will enable us to have dynamic sections. So how do you get it? You type in Package Manager, hit Enter. Package Manager opens up. You search for Section Tools. SectionTools. Make sure that it's the newest version, and you just click on Install. And hit Install again. Changes detected cannot be completed while Rhino is blah, 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 blah. Okay, sure. I hit OK. And I think let's ignore that for a bit, and let's just see if this is still not going to work, because I do have my section tools loaded in here now, and I will anchor them like so. So let's just see if that's actually going to be unstable and actually not going to work. If something is gonna become unstable, I'm going to restart Rhino. But all right, so let me show you all of the different tools that we have just installed. And I don't like using SectionTools icons here. I think that, I don't know, I don't like to have my viewport convoluted too much. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna clear those, and instead we're gonna use SectionTools right here in the top. The first one that we have is create sections, dynamic. Dynamic is the key word. That's the word that we want to see. If I click it, it asks me to add stuff to the sections, and I just hit enter to add everything. And here it's asking me a bunch of different things. So the first one is direction. Should it be horizontal or vertical? Since we are drawing sections in the top view, a horizontal means, a horizontal section line. Vertical means a vertical section line. Also, there's a custom option. Custom option is basically just draw any line you want, right? In our case, I will just do one horizontal, one vertical. So let's now just do horizontal first. Everything else should stay as it is. You can change the name. I'm just gonna say section 1. Or section AA works as well, sure. Number of sections, only 1. Attributes by layer, sure. Solid mode, none. Yeah, so let's talk about solid mode. Solid mode is basically how do you treat the surfaces as they're being cut, or not the surfaces, the volumes. Would you like to hatch them? This is very convenient to be able to hatch them automatically. And I'm going to kind of use it. I know that this is not going to be ideal for this particular model, because this model has been used for 3D rendering, meaning that certain areas are exploded, other areas are not modeled properly, and so on. So the hatching might be hit and a miss, but I will show you how to fix it if it doesn't work a little bit later. So for now, solid model, hatch please, and hatch pattern, solid. I just want a black hatch. Everything else is whatever, so we just press enter, and we choose where our section should be. Let's go for here. Bam. Once I'm done, I just press enter to finalize it, and it just creates a section for me. I can kind of show you the section here by hiding this, and this is how it looks like. And you can see that, this area right here is not ideal. These are like shelves that are modeled as enclosed boxes, so it's also hatching through those. But besides that, it's doing a pretty great job at hatching different areas, right? If you model cleanly, it should be a pretty good time saver for you. Anyway, let's move on. I will save the file. I will be saving the file because this is proving to be a little bit on the unstable side, so make sure to save your files as well. And now let's see what else we can do with this. So for now, all we have is section 100 layer right here. I want it to be laid out here flat for me to always see. So under section tools, I can do create 2D layouts, also dynamic. These two areas are dynamic: create sections, create 2D layouts. So I select the dynamic layout option, select sections. I select my section. Oh, I should probably make a second one, right? Yeah, I said that I'm gonna make 2 sections. Sorry. Roll it back a little bit. Let's go to section tools, create section dynamic, select objects to section everything, direction vertical this time, enter. And let's just make a section going through perhaps somewhere like, we can do this, or we could do this. This might be nicer. Let's run it through the windows. Okay, enter. We have our 2 sections now. I should have named it, renamed them, but you can rename them later by just going to section tools, edit sections, or edit sections hint, one of these. I will not be showing you these today because those are like minuscule little things that you will figure out by your own. This is just a showcase of the functionality. So with this done, then I can go to section tools, create 2D layouts, dynamic, select both of the sections, hit enter, and just specify where the drawings or layouts should be placed, here and here, for instance. Easy. Creates the curve, the hatch, and the solid layer, like everything that I need. I can disable the hatch layers, I can unlock them, I can edit them, and so on. As wonderful, wonderful tool. Let me save this again, and this time let's go to section tools and say, well, actually, I kind of want this to be a little bit further out, right? I want this to cut maybe through here. I can do that by just saying section tools, move sections, select this, enter, and just move it from this point to this point. Ta-da! Immediately updates. Automatic updating is awesome. All right, so I have my 2 sections that are, you know, pretty great for the most part. Well, this is not an enclosed shape and so on, so it's a little bit messy, but hey, it works. It works. So you can now notice that these shapes or these sections, they don't have a backdrop, meaning they don't have a projection of what happens behind the section plate. This is something that we actually need to do, need to generate, but this is where we start reaching the limits of what this plugin can do. While it can be very dynamic in a sense of how you work with this, and also, you know, what are we cutting through? Let's see, this. Let's just go for this roof here. Let's say this roof is like really a thick boy, right? It doesn't update, but you can go to section tools, update all sections, and now it's a thick boy. Easy as that. Let me undo again. Seems like undo is slightly breaking it. Okay, I undid it. Section tools, update all sections. Okay, it's unbroken now. So these are dynamic, these are linked, right? So you don't really, you get information from the 3D model and you don't need to redraw every time you change the section. Okay, that's the limit. From now on, everything else is gonna be static that I'm gonna show you, but still more convenient as to what we're used to by just default Rhino tools. So under section tools, let me save this. Under section tools, you can create 2D projections. Make 2D projections, which is static, but hey, it's gonna work. So making 2D projections requires you to select the sections again. Sure, these two guys, enter. And it asks you about, what do you want to show in the projections? Would you like to see the hidden lines? As architects usually know. Would you like to see the tangent lines? Tangent lines, sure. Outlines, sure. Okay, we just hit enter. It thinks for a while, and you can see it generates the, what's the name? Like it generates a set of layers. The make 2D layer for our section 1-00, which is this guy right here. And for some reason we can't see it. Now we can. I just needed to rotate the camera, and here it is, right? Here is the drawing. We will, position it properly in a second, but it's done. It's now asking us for the options for the second section, section 101, right? For this guy. And I'll just say same, yeah, hit enter, thinks for a while, and generates us second set of lines that are here. Now we just need to move them to their correct positions. So I'll just right click on section 100, make 2D, select sublayer objects so that I have everything selected. Move it here. For now, just here, so that it's easy for me to select them. And same thing for this one. Select sublayer objects, move them somewhere here. These will not update if you update the 3D model, so these should be done last. But now I can just select these, move them from, let's say, this point to clearly, well, not clearly, it's this point right here. Is it? Yes, it is. Bam. Like that. And then from here, move them. I do need to find an anchoring point, and sometimes it helps that there are these section, visible, and outline layers that are generated. So the section layer will actually should be exactly the same as the section here that we have. So I should be able to, for instance, this point right here should be exactly the same point as here. Bam. That's it. That's it. We have ourselves two sections. Everything else that you are gonna do, you do it manually, which I think is fine. Let's say, oh no, here the hatch wasn't created, for the roof and the wall here. We need to add the hatch in. Sure, you just select the objects for this one. Let's create a new layer, call it hatch. Oh, that's a really crappy way of writing hatch, but let's make it our active layer, and I'll just type in hatch. Self-interested, no hatches made. Sure. Okay, fine. We do need to be very, very specific about, this outline here. I'm trying to show it to you real fast and it doesn't let me, and then I get angry. I'm sorry. Okay, these guys. Hatch. Okay. Boundary. Here. It doesn't let me hatch that one. That's fine. We will force it by just selecting. That's the wrong one. Okay. I'm just drawing a rectangle at this point because I am doing a tutorial and this usually doesn't. Usually this is not a problem, but every time when you do a tutorial, it it most likely will fail. That's just how it works. But yeah, hey, something, right? There are also additional things that you can change about the views and additional things that you can extract from your sections, such as, where is it? Yeah, you can save the views for that are like aligned with your sections, which is really nice. And you can also save the C-planes, not just the views, and work with that further on. But this is like an advanced thing, like a step number 2. If you want me to show it, leave a comment, I guess. And if there's more than one random person who says, yeah, show C-planes, yeah. If there's more than one of you who are gonna be doing that, then for sure I'll be showing it to you. So this is kind of it with this showcase of the sections. I assume you do know how to make layouts and how to actually plot this out and how to change the print width and so on. If you don't, then you're a little bit ahead of yourself. Go back to AADA 10 tutorial set, watch that, and then come back here. This is for the grown-ups. What am I saying? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll see you in the next one. Later.